Hello YouTube and welcome to my review of The Amazing Spider-Man number 8, Volume 7. We're going to get into spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, here's your warning. Let's take a look at the creative team. We have writer Joe Kelly and art by John Romita Jr. and Todd Knock. Previously, Hellgate has arrived, a being of unknown origin, demanding to test Spider-Man's strength for unknown reasons, and willing to kill anyone who stands in his way. We pick up where we left off from last issue. Spider-Man is in the fight of his life with Hellgate. Spider-Man is throwing everything he has at him with little effect. He even tries to reason with Hellgate and asks him what he wants, but there's no response and just violence. Spidey admits to himself that he's starting to feel scared. We then flash back to a lesson we saw last time where Uncle Ben is teaching Peter to defend himself. Peter wants to use karate, but with a few quick hits from Uncle Ben, Peter realizes he needs to listen. Uncle Ben tries to make sure that Peter understands that fighting should be the last resort. We cut back to the fight between Spider-Man and Hellgate, and they've kind of stumbled through the city and onto Columbus Circle, and there's plenty of New Yorkers around. Spider-Man's concern now shifts to protecting the bystanders, which only gets him beaten more. He hears Uncle Ben's voice in his head, letting him know that if he runs, only his ego gets hurt. Spidey tries to get Hellgate's attention on him when the NYPD arrives, and Spidey yells to the police not to engage, but it's too late. Spider-Man tries to use one of Hellgate's blades against him, but it has little effect, and Hellgate takes umbrage with that and knocks Spidey hard. Hellgate sees that Spider-Man is distracted by the bystanders and heads for a New York City bus, and yells at Spider-Man to choose his focus. Spidey is beaten but lures Hellgate to some unopened stores, hoping that can buy himself some time to recover. He believes one of his legs is broken and webs it up. Just then, Captain Kintsugi, who we saw last issue, arrives to help, but Spider-Man tells him to run as Hellgate has located Spidey. We then cut to MJ, who's in mid-thought thinking about Peter. We see Paul and Dylan Brock, the son of Eddie Brock, who I believe is staying with MJ and Paul. Not really a story I'm reading, so kind of filling in the blanks here. And if you don't know, MJ has recently become Venom. MJ receives an alert on her phone about the Spider-Man Hellgate battle. We then cut back to Spider-Man and Hellgate, and in the confined space of the crumbling building, really wasn't a good idea for Spider-Man. It limits his agility against a stronger Hellgate. Hellgate tells Spidey that everything relies on his strength, and that his death will prove he has nothing to teach me. Just then we hear a voice, "Stay your hand, Keeper of Hellgate. It has been foretold. He is your guide to greater heights. He is the one foretold." We get a semi-reveal of this voice in a face when Hellgate knocks Spidey out, and that's where this issue ends. Overall, we really didn't learn much. Spider-Man is certainly overmatched by Hellgate's strength and is in bad shape by the end of the issue. Black Cat ran off after appearing for a bit in last issue, and we haven't seen her since. We've introduced a few new characters, but we really don't know what impact they will have on the story. So MJ appears, so I'm only assuming that she will try to help Peter and Spider-Man at some point in the future. Hopefully in the next issue we get some clarity on all of these things that have kind of been building. On the artwork, JR's art is still very inconsistent for me personally. It seems like when the art calls for more detail, it's just not so good. And you can see a big contrast between Todd Knock's art and JR's. I also kind of found it funny in one of the panels here that New Yorkers are buying ice cream at 6 a.m. I guess New York City never sleeps, right? So I'm going to go ahead and review. I'm going to go with 2 webheads. Just didn't seem like we moved the story along very much, and the art was kind of meh for me. So that's what I got for you. So leave me a comment and let me know if you picked up issue 8 of Volume 7 of Amazing Spider-Man and what you thought of the story and of the art. And if you're not reading it, I hope you enjoyed my review. And as always, thanks so much for watching.